Hello, I'm Shelley Rothus, and I'm a different kind of victim. Today's topic is going to be based upon the recent bullying incident and how it panned out and fanned out, as I had said I was going to explain as to what I think happened. I mean, it's hard to piece together when lies are involved, and so many of them that end up lies, as you know, they start as this and they end up as that. You know, I mean, goes back to sloppy, hypocritical ageism, and that's a fact. Even with adults, has nothing to do with adults and children and their age. As for maturity, it has to do with people who are not respectful of others. I mean, I was just talking to a friend today, and even she said that, she has, male friends, and, people, she must be doing it with him, you know, and, even she said that's happening to her with this one male friend of hers that I've seen her with many times, and I never thought in my head, oh, that means she likes him. Oh, she's going on a motorcycle ride with him. That means that she must be doing it with him because he's doing that for her. And I mean, that's exactly, adults do that too. I mean, their head is, filled with crap too. Just like I said, teenagers, that's what they're, put down for. They're going through puberty, so their mind is full of, sex and all that. Adults are just as, can be just as disgusting and pathetic. That's what it has to deal with, is being despicable and pathetic, and especially when they get into that person's business. That'd be like what happened with me in the recent incident where I brought up, people were, saying that something about, I was saying that Ken was going to come here to have sex with me, and then people were wondering if, he flirts with me, or if, I don't know, if he came on to me, who knows. But, I mean, if that happened or not, whose business is it anyways? I mean, I'm still thinking about that. Like, what the heck? I mean, I don't sit there and try to, lurk into people's business like, oh, I wonder if they're doing it together. Oh my God. I mean, it's really, I really don't understand people's mindsets, where they even, think that, because how that all started is everybody was saying, many people are saying is that, well, we didn't realize that you guys were talking. Why do we need to know who I talk to? I mean, is my question. I mean, I really don't understand that. Okay, so I'm going to start from the beginning as to the recent bullying incident, as to how it all panned out. Okay, so this is how I first became suspicious. Was when one person had come to me based upon asking me about screenshots, if I had certain screenshots based on an incident that happened in a group that really didn't have anything to do with the cult members, the clan members and all that, because this group was, I guess you could say, is not something that they really cared about, and they didn't even like the person who was the main administrator of that group, which happens to be the person that sent me those lovely pictures, if you know what I mean. So, anyways, I was like, I felt, suspicious. I was like, why do they even care? They're not even in that group anymore. They're not an administrator with that person anymore. Why do they care? Because they wanted screenshots based on Hate Eradicus and another person named Rachel. So I was like, I haven't even looked at my flash drives in ages. Now let's get one thing straight. Yes, I have a bunch of flash drives from like years ago, even before, from when I was, before I was on, Facebook. So yes, I save a lot of things. And yes, I have it. And it came in handy due to the situation that arose as for me being attacked, when I should have never been involved in the situation. People are saying, well, this person said you did that, And it's almost like they're making excuses. Well, basically, they are making excuses, saying, well, so and so said that you were doing that, so that's why we did this, and we started, attacking you. You know what? That's your fault. That's their fault for believing those lies and just going with it and attacking me and bringing me into it. So yes, I did end up in it, and I did do as I said, which was self-defense. And that's exactly what I did. Because you know what? I was super pissed off that they brought me into that crap again and did their bullshit on me that was not necessary. So this time I did not just sit there and like a mat and take it. I didn't do it for anybody else, mainly me, especially since they crossed my boundaries extremely, extreme levels this time, even worse than the last time. So yeah, I defended myself. Okay, so after that happened, the next thing that made me, what the heck is going on here, was when John Paul had private messaged me to, give me a heads up and say, it's starting again. I'm thinking, what? It's like I haven't even been involved in groups or really anything like that in ages. So he tells me that Carla's, PMing him, asking him if I'm sharing screenshots from PM groups. And okay, like I stated in another video topic, is that I haven't been in those PM groups for a long time now. And that was due to, my trauma and not feeling comfortable in PM groups that has more than 3 people in it. So I haven't even, wanted to be involved in any of that stuff. So at that time, I was like, I was anxious and concerned, and I'm thinking, oh great, First thing that went to my head though was, oh man, I was like, I just know that Ken is going to buy any BS that any single one of them tells him, based upon me. They're going to bring him into it. I was like, I already know that. And why did I feel that was definitely going to happen? I could already tell when he was starting to get back closer and more involved, engaging with the, cult clan. I could tell by the way he treated me and, just all of that. I could tell. So it's almost like he was afraid that they would find out that he spoke to me too, or, they were already, down talking me and degrading me, and, it just rubbed off onto me too. So actually, believe it or not, during that time, before all this even started, I had actually unfriended Ken. And that was due to me seeing him start to act like he did in the last bullying incident, where I could tell that he was already getting swooped in with the, cult clan, and I kind of, was like weary, That's exactly what happened this time. So that's exactly why I unfriended him. And so, anyways, so that was the second thing that made me alert, And then after that is when it started going even further. So for Ken and Carla's group, I was like, okay, maybe I could join it, and it would be on my other account that has my name on it. And maybe once in a while I'll make a comment on a post, because it's a public group. I was not planning on doing anything except for just, engaging in posts, making opinions and, stuff like that, and doing it without, getting involved with that clan and keeping my distance. So, well, this is what happened. I had asked Ken if I could rejoin on another account, and he's like, yeah, that's what he said. Yeah. So, well, he didn't add me. What a shock. So I was thinking to myself, that's really odd, because, if me and him were getting along good, he would have added me right away. So it was almost like, I was like, something's up. And I already knew. I was like, oh, I bet it's because Pooty Lube wouldn't want me to join, so he's not going to tell me that he's not going to add me because Pooty Lube wouldn't want me to. This is getting good. I was actually right about that when I was thinking that. So I asked Carla to add me, and she added me. Ooh, she got in trouble. I mean, I didn't expect it. I actually thought that, they would be, bigger than that, that cult clan with Pooty Lube in them. And just, not even think nothing of it, because I hadn't been around in ages. So I thought, I actually vanished. I thought I was vanished and that they had let things go and things can just, go back as though it's all in the past, all in the past. That's it. No. So they're already nervous when I was in there right away. I mean, Carla got her head bit off, because she added me. And this is Ken and Carla's group. So remember that. So this goes all the way back to LDAA. Ooh. Again, just like my screenshot said, the master, do as he says. Good job, slaves. And LDAA, even another admin that was in there, she remembers, both Madame de Citrus and Two-Faced were the administrators in there. So whatever William said, they almost every single time did what he said. And people remembered them being afraid of him, so they always did what he said. He didn't want somebody in the group. He broke the rules zillions of times. But if somebody else did that, what he did, they'd get, banned or kicked out. But not Pooty Lube. Now, that's where, with Ken, I actually thought he was different. I still remember when he was being supportive of me and we were getting along. I even told him I didn't want to join a group that I was invited to because I knew that Pooty Lube was in it, unless he joined it with me to feel safe about being in that group. Because I actually thought that he was a non-biased person, meaning that's what you expect with administrators on those types of groups, is to be non-biased. Nah, I was wrong about him because he's definitely not, non-biased, and, he's under the wrath of Pooty Lube. Because what ended up happening is that Pooty Lube threw a little fit. Oh, come on, Pooty Lube, you didn't want me to join the group? So he threw a fit in his, private group with his cult clan members. Oh, I can't be in the same group as her. So, Carla got yelled at, got in trouble and all that, So, of course, his lovely slave, Ken, kicked me out right away. I already knew he would. I was like, he's going to kick me out. So I was like, yep, he kicked me out. I already knew he was going to, do it at the snap of a finger when Pooty Lube said so. What a coward. I'll use the word coward. I'll be good. So, anyways, I wasn't even in there for a day. But get this. They're thinking that I'm already in there or up to something. Who knows? But believe it or not, I wasn't even home all day. I was out of the county at a doctor's appointment, and I ended up getting texted by Carla, and she's like, it's starting again. I'm thinking to myself, what? And I'm getting stressed out. I was having a good day, and then all of a sudden she tells me that. I'm like, great. Only thing I could think of was, as long as it's not John, Carla, or Ken. So, I asked her. I said, who's involved? And I told her straight up, as you've seen in the text messages, is that as long as it's not John, Carla, or Ken, I didn't care. Well, get this. I guessed William, Ken, and Jennifer, because she wouldn't tell me. She said it's one of those three. Oh, but it was all three of them. So I guess my guess was actually right, as for who is involved. And I knew Ken would be because, like I said, they're going to go after who the victim is closest to or, respects or, has, ties in certain ways. So that's, what my guess was correct because he's the one that kicked me out of that group. And then he blocked me because I believe the first lie was that I was doxing him. and sharing his address publicly. I'm not sure which one came first. Or sharing private messages from PM groups, which I haven't been in any for ages. And also it was because I was sharing it with Haley. I haven't spoken to Haley, and me and her were never really friends. Like I stated, I never really wanted to be close to her because of the things that she does, even in real life, and the type of person she is. Notice I didn't even describe her when I described the clan members and all the people in that as to whom I considered friends or had respect for, or whatnot. She was not even in there. So that's where he ended up blocking me. So again, that was their choice to believe the lies, which those weren't even true. So I was like, fine, he blocked me. And at that point, I was like, well, you know what? If he can't trust me, then why can't I trust him? It was at that point that I was just like, yeah, I'm totally done with him. So I blocked him too. I was like, forget it. I'm totally done with him. I'm done with this crap, and they're gonna always go after him. And then I already know he's gonna believe the lies. So I was like, I'm not gonna stress myself out anymore. That's not respect, and it wasn't equal in the relationship, and I didn't want to deal with that anymore because I know it's not my fault because, like I said, I was completely honest with him throughout the entire time that me and him were friends. And, if he can't see that, then it's his loss. That's the way I looked at it. So that's how it all started out. This is going to be in 2 different parts. So again, like I stated in my, other video, is that I was traumatized and didn't even want to be in PM groups in any type of setting with anybody, And like I said, that was due to the, person I first trusted and what they ended up doing, So that was the reason why, That just, he just happened to be the first person I trusted. That's all there is to it, based upon what happened between us while we were, friends. As for what he did for me, and a lot of it, he didn't even realize it himself. It just happened that way. It's not something I planned, like I had stated. But, I was actually, traumatized by that. And even as for relationships, as I mentioned, as to, not wanting to be close to people and how I see people and my trust issues with people. And then, like I stated with the recent incident where he was, he ended up humiliating me. And then also the things he stated in that recent hate group from the recent incident for bullying was really, what really traumatized me. So the next part is going to be how it, panned out even more. So, and my purpose for doing this and actually going through with it, as for my personal story and why I did this, and one of the reasons, the main reason. So stay tuned for part 2 of how the recent bullying incident panned out. I'll see you next time. I'm Shelley Rothus, and I'm a different kind of victim.